On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks played their most important game of the season against the Los Angeles Clippers. And this one, no, not really. But we're going to look around the NBA, where the Mavericks stand now in the West and going forward in the West. On today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm going to get a city like that.
Dogs, all of us, all five.
You are Locked On Mavs.
Great, Wesley.
Your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast.
No one's dying.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave me alone.
Your team every day.
Gotta be born with it, dogged up.
They were not dogged up. Today's episode, welcome. You're locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Dallas Mavericks for 10 years. Thanks for being an everydayer, making Locked On Mavs your first listen. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Joining me, as always, the post-game prodigy from the great Slightly Biased YouTube channel. What you got for me, Slightly Biased?
God, just like the Mavericks tonight.
The ending of Interstellar sucks.
I've got nothing. Yeah, Nick joined me on Playback. We were talking movies, and that's one of my movie hot takes was the ending of Interstellar is so bad, in my opinion, that it almost ruins the movie entirely.
Wow.
But
not a fan of the power of love?
No, I wish the Mavs had the power of love tonight.
The Mavs didn't have the power of love, the power of friendship, nor did they have the power of the three-point shot at all in this game. We'll talk about it briefly, but we'll also get into the Western Conference. I want to talk about where the Mavs stand. Where do we feel the Mavs are right now, according to where everybody else is in the West? And then we'll talk about the West as a whole, who we think can catch the Thunder. But let's start here slightly. I am captain of the you can take something from every game club. I tried to say I'm taking something away from this game. Even going back to that Cavs game that was absolutely brutal after the trade. I was like, all right, I'm going to try to take something from it. I think I've been beat here. The Mavs lose to this Clippers team. They had 60 points through the first three quarters. By the way, the lowest scoring Mavs game ever was 62 points back in 1997. And then in 2026, they had a 64-point game. That's the most 2026. There is absolutely a Locked On Mavs episode about that game somewhere.
In 2026.
Yes.
2026.
2016.
Let's say,
Took me a few times. Numbers don't mean anything to me.
You want to know something? You said, after you said yes the second time, I looked at the date and I was like, have I gone through a loophole, a time wormhole?
The power of love slightly has brought you to 2026.
All right, that's fine.
Oh my gosh. We're off and running like the Mavs offense was tonight because they just couldn't dribble. The Clippers in this game, their defense is really good. The Mavs have one guy on the team that can dribble right now, and that's Spencer Dinwiddie. And they just couldn't create offense in any way. Obviously, Anthony Davis didn't play, Dereck Lively didn't play, and then obviously Kyrie and others were out. But they just can't create offense when you only have one guy that can dribble. The whole team was built around these two elite playmaker scorers, and then you trade one, and then another one is gone because of injury, and all of a sudden you're left with this is what you're left with.
Yeah, and you play a team like this, super shorthanded and undermanned. Your only big tonight's Gafford and Kai Jones, and Gafford, the Zubats is a brutal matchup for Gafford.
Tough.
And, a game like this starts and you get punched in the mouth immediately, and 27 minutes for Zubats. He has 14 points, 13 rebounds, 7 of those offensive rebounds. You just get killed on the boards. I mean, how many of those rebounds were the first quarter? I mean, he had 9 rebounds.
I think he had a double-double like in the middle of the second quarter.
Yeah, he had 9 rebounds in the first quarter, 4 offensive rebounds in the first quarter. So that sets the tone immediately. And you see this when your team doesn't have the guys, the horses, literally and figuratively, you lose. You get punched in the mouth and it's hard to come back. And this was an onslaught from the beginning.
Speaking of not having the horses, Klay Thompson only plays 12 minutes in this game. He leaves with illness. He's who knows what he has. PJ just missed the game because of illness, and so maybe something else going around. I'm checking Naji's temperature on every turn if I'm the Mavs training staff. So Klay leaves this game. Jaden Hardy also leads this game. He had 16 points, 5 assists. He had a couple steals. He was only 5 of 14 from the field, missed all of his threes. The Mavs missed all their threes in this game, 4 of 20. But he leaves the game with another right ankle injury. I think his season is done.
Yeah, it looked not good, and it was the same ankle that he's hurt several times now this season. Really unfortunate. Yeah. Really unfortunate for him. Feel bad for the guy. You were mentioning it in the playback stream, and I agree. It is good. You're happy that he got paid and got a contract this summer, because if he were entering this summer a free agent, I'm not sure what he would be getting really based off the season he just had. So you really got to feel for Hardy with that ankle injury. And with only a week left in the regular season, it is hard to imagine him coming back. Unless they go on a deep run, which you could see him return for.
I mean, we'll talk about the West here in a little bit, which is weird because he actually averaged more points than last year. He shot better this year from 3 and from the field. Like, it's interesting looking at his season and going, man, he played so bad, but he actually, his counting stats and like some of his shooting percentages were actually better than last year, but he's not going to have the playoff moments like he did last year where he actually stepped up and showed that he could play in those moments. Let's talk about Hardy's season this year. What do you do with Jaden Hardy now if you're the Dallas Mavericks? Because I look at him and you go, well, we've tried the point guard thing. We tried it in Summer League 2 years ago. They tried it here or there, trying to have him lead the offense, and you need those guys now. Like, if he was a guy that could lead an offense, or even just be a Jordan Clarkson type, a guy that could come off the bench and get his own shot and go and get you a bucket here and there, he would be so valuable on this team right now. It'd be immensely valuable for this Mavericks team. But he has not really turned into that guy. He's a catch and shoot guy. He's a guy that can catch, off the run and go and do something. He's an okay passer at times. He's created for some guys like him and Gafford, him and some of the bigs have some chemistry here and there, but it's not consistent enough. Consistency is a big thing for him. And then he's just so up and down where it's either he gets 24 points or he gets 2 points. Like, it's just so up and down that, I don't know what you do with him next year or his spot, because you need somebody that does the things that he does not do.
He's such an interesting player because all of the things we say about Hardy is, well, he's got to be a knockdown 3-point shooter. His 3-point shooting has to be good. But then you look at the numbers.
He shot 40%.
He's 40% from 3, right? And he's 2 of his 3 years in the league, he's been 40% from 3.
Yeah.
3-point attempts per game. Really struggling.
2026 is when.
Yeah, I mean, we're really going for it. We're burning the midnight candle, literally.
It is midnight.
And then you look at his rate stats, and it's like, okay, per 36, he's nearly 20 points a game, 40% from 3.
Yeah,
so it's the eye test.
Oh yeah, you see what's happening, and he plays so much time in garbage time that it changes a lot of those stats, and so I think those are misleading for sure. But yeah, they gave him that deal. He's making $6 million next year, and I think he's perfect to just add in a trade next year. I think
that's exactly what I was just about to say. He's felt like one of those contracts that a team that's pushing salary cap rules gives to guys who they plan on trading at some point. So that's kind of what it felt like to me, a human trade exemption almost. So we'll see with Hardy. I feel for him. I don't like it. Kind of sucks doing stuff like this right after a guy gets hurt. But like you said, his season probably is over. Just going off of how long it takes to come back from an ankle injury, especially considering that's the 3rd time he's hurt that ankle, probably is done for him. And, if that's the case, it could be it. It's very possible the Mavs make a trade in the summer. His contract just fits in. And I don't know, is there a world where he goes to a team like the Nets, like a team like that, right? Or the Wizards or the Hornets or a team like that, where there's maybe, I say all those teams, I'm thinking they all have guards.
They all have a bunch of dudes like that.
I know.
They have the all-star of that in Jordan Poole.
Yeah, it is tough for Hardy because you would like to see more self-creation and stuff. But if he hovers around 40% from 3, he'll have chances. Like, he will. Teams will take chances on that.
If he could go to a spot like the Pacers, where he's got Halliburton and McConnell and like a couple of playmakers like that, where you go, okay, he's next to some of those guys, I could see him having a role for sure.
Rick would have to get fired.
That's say roster wise, it makes sense.
Yes.
Coaching wise, I don't know if that's a great spot for him, but yeah, I think that it sucks to say, but yeah, Hardy's time with the Mavericks may be done, but his time this season, I think, is for sure done after that injury. And so another Maverick goes down. It is a brutal season for injuries, just over and over again.
So bad. Hate to see it. You really do.
You hate to see it. Coming up, let's get into where the Mavericks are in the West. How are you feeling about the current play-in spots? And then let's talk about the West as a whole. Can anyone catch OKC? I think someone can. We'll talk about that and more coming up. It's late. We're doing this episode at midnight Central Time, and we'll do another one tomorrow at the same time. It's late, and we got to keep that energy up. And the way to do that is to get 5-Hour Energy. If you're whatever you're doing, whenever you need it, 5-Hour Energy gives you the quick, refreshing pick-me-up whenever you need to get it. If you're staying up late, if you need some extra, a pick-me-up, and you can get it on the go, whether you're traveling or you're at home. Go to a convenience store. 5 Hour Energy is there to easy and grab. It keeps you feeling refreshed over and over again. And I like to mix it with stuff. I like to throw it in if I'm traveling, if I'm on the road, I throw it in like a Gatorade. And it's just great. It gives it an extra little kick, that the flavor too. And if you mix the flavors, all of a sudden you get a little extra flavor in that Gatorade. Head to 5hourenergy.com. Find over 15 flavors you can mix and match, choose all kinds of different things, including watermelon, blue raspberry, peach mango. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack delivered straight to your door. Need one now? Grab 5 Hour Energy at your local grocery or convenience store. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized with 5 Hour Energy. Also brought to you by Wayfair. Wayfair, they got just what you need. There's all kinds of things at Wayfair. I subscribe to their emails, and let me tell you, they're kind of dangerous because every once in a while they'll be like, hey, this thing is $150 off or 60% off or something like that. And it's stuff that you need for your home, to find furniture items, to find carpeting, to find rugs, to find lamps, to find a whole bunch of stuff to refresh your space. This is the time right now. We're in spring right now, and you're looking at your space and you go, all right, I've been nesting in this all winter, and now I've got to add some stuff to my space. Wayfair has that for you. They also have fast and free shipping, makes it easy. No hauling heavy items from the store. Wayfair makes home improvement easy. Get started at wayfair.com. That's Wayfair, Wayfair. Wayfair, every style, every home.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad, what we call our listeners. We appreciate each and every one of you for checking out the show every day. We'll be back tomorrow's show doing another game. Hopefully Anthony Davis and Lively will play, and it will be a real game this time, but we will be here, 5 Hour Energy in tow. Also, April 8th at Four Corners Brewery, 7 p.m., we will do a live show. I will be there. Isaac will be there, slightly biased in attendance.
Whoa.
The day before the Lakers come to town and play the Mavericks. That is a matchup that everybody's looking at, and a matchup that a lot of us, I just don't know how we're going to feel that day. That's going to be such a weird day, but we're going to be there the day before at Four Corners Brewery talking about everything that's going to go on that day. All right, Slightly, let's talk about the West. The Mavs are 9th right now still. The Kings are awful. They're baffling. They just keep falling. They're 3 games under 500. The Suns lose again tonight. They've lost 5 games in a row. They are 7 games under 500. Doesn't even look like they're going to catch the Kings. How are you feeling about the Mavs in the play-in spot right now?
I think they're safe in the play-in tournament. I think they're pretty safe in regards to the 9-10 seed, being the 9 seed and hosting a play-in game, which is interesting in its own right for a bunch of different reasons. Actually, I think it's possible they could slide down to the 10 seed now that I'm looking at it.
They're half game up right now. So,
but the Kings have the Cavs, Pistons, Nuggets, Clippers, and Suns to close out their season. So it's a pretty tough schedule for them. But you never know. I mean, it's difficult looking forward because we don't know what those teams are going to be doing at that point. But yeah, they'll be in the play-in tournament. And that's that. I mean, it's not really because they went on a tear or anything like that. It's just because the teams below them have been so dreadfully bad over the last couple of months that they're going to sneak their way in. And honestly, I for a while did not think there was really any hope of them even making it out of the play-in tournament. But I think you could absolutely beat the Kings, especially if it's at home. And with the way the Grizzlies have been, they're the 8th seed currently. If they're the one you play in the next game, I think you could win that game as well, because I just think that they're playing such poor basketball as of late that, yeah, there's a pathway for them to make the playoffs, where a week ago I probably would have told you I don't see them winning 2 play-in games.
Yeah, I think the Mavs would have a shot against the Grizzlies. Like if the Grizzlies if they come out early and they're firing blanks, like it just wouldn't be good for the Grizzlies, and I think the Mavs would match up well with them. Yeah,
and that's where I'm at. It would have to be the Grizzlies, because I don't think they would beat like a Timberwolves, a Clippers, a Warriors, who are still in contention. The Lakers are. I mean, like the play-in, the 7 seed, 8 seed is a thing for every team not named the Rockets and Thunder at this point.
It's insane. The Lakers are only 2 games up on the 8th seed right now, and they're I guess they're playing right now.
They've got 2 games against the Thunder.
Wow. The Mavs against Kings. You feel good about that? It'd be wild if that Kings Suns game comes down to that final game where whoever wins gets to play in the play-in.
Right. Well, that is good for the Mavs though, because that's one of those where you look at it and no matter who loses that game, it's good for you.
That's right. Yeah, and then the play-in, you could play anybody in that second game between Grizzlies, Clippers, Timberwolves, Warriors, even the Nuggets, even the Lakers. You could still play at this point.
Lakers would be hilarious.
Imagine in LA a play-in game between the Mavs and the Lakers.
Is that not what would is there not a funnier scenario than the Mavs beating the Lakers in the 8 seed play-in game?
Anthony Davis has 40 and Luka goes like 0 for 10 from 3. Like something crazy like that would have to happen in order for that game to go.
I think the Lakers are going to make the playoffs, but that is a funny scenario to think about.
Oh my gosh.
That would be so funny.
That would be hilarious. There's the other scenarios, there's not any one better than that.
Yeah. I mean, there's not. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to bank on the Grizzlies. That's it.
You don't think they could have any chance against the Clippers, Timberwolves, Warriors, Nuggets?
I mean, one game, you never know, but this Clippers team, I would make an argument for this Clippers team being the second best team in the Western Conference currently.
Wow.
I think that's how good they've been playing.
They've been really good. What are they? They're 14-2. They're 14-2 or 14-3 now in their last 17 games.
Yeah, if you go back 10 games, 20 games, you're talking about analytics wise, one of the best teams in the league. Kind of very reminiscent to like runs we've seen the Mavs go on, where they just figure it out at the right time of the season. Timberwolves are volatile because you always sort of, there's always the chance there that Ant has a bad shooting game and has 7 turnovers, and they do have Julius Randle on the roster. So, once the regular season ends and postseason starts, completely different thing for him.
Did you bring that up as a positive or as a negative?
Positive for whoever's playing the Timberwolves potentially. And Warriors, they're just too. I'm not picking you against a Warriors team in a 1-game elimination.
They're really susceptible to size, though. And I think it'd be interesting to see if they played an AD Lively. There was a lot of Lakers fans the other night when the Lakers lost to the Warriors that were like, this AD's not here anymore, so we can't dominate the Warriors every time we play. Like, that one would be an interesting matchup. That one of the other matchups, that's the one I'd be looking at.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from. I think I'd rather take the chance on the Timberwolves potentially being volatile. I'm just not picking against Steph, Draymond, Kerr.
Yeah,
where our postseason hopes are on the line. I'm not wanting to go up against Jokic, and I'm not wanting to go up against Luka or LeBron in a scenario like this. So it's pretty much Grizzlies or nothing for me. Like Grizzlies, I would be like, I think you could win this game.
To be fair, we've never seen Luka in a play-in scenario.
That's true. We don't know what play-in Luka looks like.
Play-in Luka could be amazing.
Or that's what we've been saying all year. Like, getting play-in experience for this Mavs team is really important. Because a lot of guys haven't been in the play-in.
That's true. Oh my gosh. Was PJ in the play-in with the Hornets when they lost?
Yeah, I think he was.
He's got that experience. The rest of the West. Can anybody catch the Thunder? You just said the Clippers you think are the second best team in this conference. Can anybody? The Thunder are so good. We said on the show yesterday that if the Mavs somehow get out of the play-in and they play the Thunder in the first round, that they get destroyed. And I saw at least one comment that was like, that's disrespectful to the Mavericks. Apologize when that doesn't happen. The Thunder are so good. They're 64-13. Yeah. 13 and a half games above the Rockets right now, who have already won 50 games. This Thunder team is head and shoulders above everybody. We're talking about a team that is as good as the 67-win Warriors we've seen in the past, right? Some of these great teams. You have to talk about them like that because they've just been that good. Can anyone catch them?
Anyone who watches me knows my answer to this already. When it comes to my Oklahoma City Thunder, the answer to that question is no. I've been very strong about this. I think the Thunder lose 2-3 games in the Western Conference. I think they're head and shoulders better than anybody else. And if they were to lose before the conference finals, or before the NBA finals, I guess I should say, it would be a pretty sizable upset, in my opinion. Like, I think it would be a big deal. I've talked to Thunder. I have friends who are Thunder fans, just living in the Dallas area and stuff. Yeah. And I talked to them, and they've sort of, I think they don't want to say how good they are. They don't want to say
jinx it.
They don't want to jinx it. They don't want to say what the realistic expectations for this team should be, which is win the championship, considering the season you just had. And they're like, no. Like, losing in the playoffs, if it's a hard fought like second round series, isn't the end of the world. I'm like, if you guys don't make the conference, don't make the finals, you need to reassess what's happening, because you've been head and shoulders better than anybody else in the conference this year. And I just think there's such a large gap between them and the second best team. That'd be very shocking to me.
They are the best defense in the NBA by 3 points per 100 possessions.
They're insane.
The difference between 2 and 10. The difference between Orlando and Miami's defense is the same as the difference between Orlando and OKC's defense.
And it's just crazy to me too, because they just have they just rotate in guys. They have going into the season who I would say a good chunk of people would consider the best perimeter defender in the league. They have Caruso just kind of cycling in and 19 minutes. Like we'll put lineups out there with Caruso and J-Dub and Dort are out there and Case and Wallace. We're just terrorizing you defensively. Like I said, man, they ramped it up. And they don't have flaws, in my opinion, where every other team in the West has like serious flaws.
You think that they've solved their secondary creator thing? That's what they really struggled with against the Mavs last year.
That would be their big flaw. And that's a big flaw to have to be completely fair. Like if you're going to tell me the Thunder lose before the finals, I'd say, was J-Dub struggling? And the answer to that question would have to be yes. There's no other scenario. So like I said, if that ends up happening, I think you probably have questions you need to answer, but I don't see it, man. Their defense is just otherworldly.
Yeah, that's the thing that they've upgraded. You're adding Hartenstein to this group. You're adding Caruso to this group. Your Case and Wallace is a year older, right? Like you're adding Chet is even a year older. You're adding these guys to this group that was already that good. Yeah, their defense has taken them to another level where I have less questions about their offense because of how good their defense is going to be.
Yeah, and let's not, in a weird way, like Chet missing that much time might end up being good for them because last year there were stats entering the playoffs where for like the last 3 months of the season, Chet's efficiency just tanked. And he ran into the rookie wall and was gassed. And then by the time the playoffs came around, he was like 20% from three, I think. So, yeah, I just think they're better because they're older. They're better because they got Hartenstein. They brought in Caruso. And, I mean, they're so incredibly solid. Who was the team you thought the second best team?
We say this in the Thunder lost to the Rockets tonight. Man, my second best team.
Well, didn't you say there was a team that could beat them?
I think the Lakers could beat them.
Oh no, Big. Come on, don't give into that. Don't give into that junk.
I think LeBron, Luka. I think they could do it.
Absolutely not. I would be so like I'm not poo-pooing Luka and LeBron. And I would pick. I was saying this on my stream earlier today. Like I'm not picking against the Lakers in the playoffs in less than 6 games. Like I won't be like the Lakers are gonna lose in 4, Lakers are gonna lose in 5. I will give out of respect LeBron and Luka 2 games, no matter what.
That's as close to catching OKC as anyone else is gonna get. There's really no other good answer. I want to say Jokic, but that Nuggets team has been so disappointing too.
You want to know? The worry with me with the Lakers is they have turnover problems. Offensively, they haven't been. If the Lakers had been an uber elite offense, which they need to be, I would maybe agree with you, but they don't have the size to overwhelm OKC in the front court, at least. And they have turnover issues. And I worry about them defensively. I think against really, really good teams, this Lakers defense is fraudulent. But I think the thing is what's weird about the West is, do we need to do an ad break or are we just rambling at this point?
Keep going. No, you're good.
Okay. The thing about the second best team in the West is it could be anyone.
Yeah, really good.
I'd make the argument right now. If I'm a Thunder fan, I'm looking at the teams. I probably really don't want to play the Nuggets, is what I would say. Because that's the only series in the West, and I'm about to get blasted in the comment section, but it just based off this season, that's the only series in the West where I'm like, I don't know if we have the best player on the court.
Oh, I think Jokic is still the best player.
Right. So that's the only one. I think every other series we're like, Shea's the best player in the series, and you're probably going to win that series 9 times out of 10 when you have the best player.
Yeah. It's just, if it comes down to, if they can keep it a some kind of stalemate, and it's just who can get tough buckets against who can get tough buckets, then all of a sudden, if you're in that rock fight like that, I'm taking Jokic. I could take Luka and LeBron and Reeves. Like that. That's what it comes down to. And it would be inexplicable. It would be like the Mavs winning last year, but even the Mavs winning last year, they had made more success than some of these teams we're talking about now.
I was about to say, I've like said that the Thunder are clear-cut favorites, head and shoulders better than everyone, and people have replied like, well, they were last year. No, they were not. Like entering the playoffs.
Not like this.
Entering the playoffs last year, I went back and I looked at this and I was shocked. The Thunder were tied with the Mavs for the third best odds to come out the West. Do you want to know who the two ahead of them? The Nuggets were number 1, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Timberwolves, right?
The Clippers.
Oh, yeah, because people were still waiting for the health.
Yeah, the Clippers had better odds of winning the Western Conference going into the postseason last year than the Thunder. So it was not the same as last year, even though they were the 1 seed. They are I mean, they're boat racing teams, which that could be if you were to tell me like, look, they have a 13-point differential. Like they haven't been in a lot of these close games. If you want to go that route, it's like if they're in a series where a team can bog them down, and it's like, man, we've only had like 7 of these games all year, and we're going up against like a Timberwolves team that's in these games every single night. It feels like, yeah, maybe, but
Thunder have played 23 clutch games this year. They are 15-8 in those games. That's not very good.
Yeah, but that's for a clutch game where those clutch games can go a lot of different ways. Like that's not horrible. That's still pretty elite, I would say, right? Like, what are the best records? Do you have that up? Or
Cavs 25-9, Celtics 22-11, Knicks 17-9, Thunder 15-8, Lakers 23-15. That one doesn't really count. The Thunder, by the way, last year were 57-25. They had the 142nd best record in NBA history, percentage-wise. This year, they are 64-13 now. Coming into tonight, they had the 3rd best record percentage-wise in NBA history.
Yeah, every analytics stat there is says this team not making the finals would be shocking. So that's why I say it, because the numbers tell us.
Because it is. We have to say that. Like you have to lead it up like that. I've been on our squad show. I've been making fun of Rylan, our Locked On Thunder host. Like, hey, you better win it. You better win it, right? Like, because that is what it is.
That's what I tell my Thunder, my friends who are Thunder fans are like, oh, like if it's a tough second, I'm like, no, you guys are out of your mind.
No,
if you guys don't make the finals, it is a failure.
And it's not like they're Cleveland either, where they have the obvious like Boston right behind them, where they could obviously beat them. It's not that's just not the same. This West is not the same as that.
I'm saying all of this. I don't know if a team plays the Thunder that closely, but I will say I think every other series in the West has the potential to be incredible.
Yeah,
like I just think like right now we would have Lakers Timberwolves first round. That sounds incredible to me. Like that would be an amazing series. Nuggets Warriors round 1, amazing. Lakers Warriors round 1.
You gotta have Lakers Warriors as the 4-5.
I mean, that's brutal. I don't like that for the Lakers. Honestly, I don't.
Tough.
I think that's a bad matchup for them.
Draymond
honestly
would murder LeBron in some way.
Yeah, and last night was interesting because usually Draymond's really buddy with both Luka and LeBron, and he had that hard foul on LeBron. You could tell it pissed LeBron off a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I think Draymond's full psycho again. So I'm interested though. I thought you were going to say the Warriors when you said this.
I wanted to, and then I just thought like I don't know if I can see it. You've got the others on the Warriors have to be so good.
Yeah.
Do they have a PJ Washington type that could just go crazy? I guess Pajemski could. He did the other night.
Yeah, Pajemski is a big wild card. And they would have to have Jimmy tap into like a 20-point per game.
That's the thing. If something different would have to happen in the playoffs than what is happening now with these teams.
100%.
Jimmy Butler would have to step up. A Jamal Murray would have to be back to playoff Jamal Murray. You'd have to get something like that in order for me to think that the Thunder could be beat.
Call it what it is for the Lakers. Like Luka would have to play much better than he has over the last few weeks for them
back
to make
playoff Luka.
Like what I've been saying is every team that would go against the Thunder would have to almost play a perfect game for 4 games of a 7-game series. Like almost perfect. And you look at all these teams and what could go wrong, and the list is decently long. It sucks. We're not even talking about the Rockets. I feel bad for them because they're going to be the 2 seed.
They have a worse half-court offense than the Jazz.
Yeah, and that's really
yes.
Who's even playing for the Jazz anymore? Do we know?
It doesn't matter. It was a week ago. Let me check. On the squad show, I said that, and everybody freaked out. And I was like, yeah, their half-court offense is so bad.
But then I look at the Rockets, and I'm like, the thing is,
okay, they're better than it's worse than the Sixers, though.
If that's bad. If you're the Rockets, how do we win a playoff series? We are probably the most athletic team in the NBA, and we have a lot of size.
They'd have to win in transition.
Yeah, if we get an older team, maybe we can do that. The thing is, I don't think that's good. That's not going to work against the Thunder.
No. Because they don't turn the ball over, and they turn you over.
Yeah, I was about to say, the Rockets would average probably 20 turnovers a game in that series.
The Rocket, if you're looking at cleaning the glass, it has like the your ranking for things. It has it in different colors, and so the top is like really bright orange, and the bottom is blue. The Rockets have the 8th best offense and the 22nd half court offense. So it's like orange and blue right next to each other. We're just like, this is a contradiction. This whole team.
Big time. And usually that's a telltale sign, but I'll give the Rockets props. I saw a tweet about this, and I don't know if I agree that it's just like no one wants to talk about it. For some reason, the Rockets are the 2 seed, and everyone's just kind of poo-pooing them a little bit. But they're kind of on a similar trajectory as like the Thunder were.
They don't have a guy. They don't have the guy though.
That's the thing, is they don't have Shea, right? But if they were to make an aggressive move in the offseason, or if Amin Thompson took like a big leap next year, which I wouldn't count out for him. He's insane. Yeah, I could see the Rockets being an insanely good team next year too.
I mean, they're really good now, but I don't know about insanely good.
Yeah, but I mean, it is. It's like that trajectory where they showed it last year, and I don't think people believed in it heading into this year, but it was very real. So it is. They don't have the Shea.
Let us know in the comment section. Who do you think can catch the Thunder? How do you feel with the Mavs? Oh, say the thing.
Can I give my Clippers? One more thing. Can I give my Clippers a pitch?
To beat the Thunder?
To be the second best team in the West.
Okay. Yeah.
They have athletes all over the floor. Their defense is incredible. They have a real legit 7-footer in Zubats who will break the game if you do not have somebody. We saw it tonight. Will break the game if you don't have somebody who can sort of account for that. And also has been incredible defensively this year. Like, I know we've made fun of Zubats in the past for him switching on the perimeter. He's been incredible this year. Harden's been around all NBA level, and Kawhi Leonard is, let's not forget who that guy is in the playoffs. The only problem is the last time he finished a playoff series was 2021 against the Mavericks. So that is the big thing. But if you were to come back from the future and say, hey, Kawhi is healthy throughout the playoffs, I would say, oh.
Well, and they have Norm Powell, too, who's taken a big leap forward, too. The fact that Zubats and Norm Powell have taken leaps this year is why the Clippers are where they are when I thought they were going to be the 11th seed.
And Bogdan has been a little bit better lately. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was an ad.
I'm just saying. I will not trust them because of that, but if you were to come back from the future and say Kawhi's healthy at the end of the postseason, I'd be like, oh, uh-oh.
Literally 2 through 8. You're like, I could believe any of those teams could be any of those other teams.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be incredible. I think this postseason is going to be amazing.
And I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the Mavs to be the 8th seed and then to play that Thunder team that we just hyped up for all this time. And I can't wait for all the comments talking about us hyping up the Thunder.
That's fine, man.
They're way better than last year. I'm just saying that. Thanks for hanging out with us, Locked On Mavs. April 8th at Four Corners is our live show. Come join us. We've also got a show tomorrow covering the hopefully an actual game against the Mavs and the Clippers. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out. Boom. Thunder up.